Hey, 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 y'all. I'm Carol with Free Spirit Arts. Good morning and welcome to Self Care Sunday. Let's light a candle. Today's Self Care Sunday on Tammy's channel. Tammy Van Antwerp sponsors Self Care Sunday. And she just gives lighthearted prompts for people to any open collab, so anybody who wants to do Self-Care Sunday is welcome. Just jump in. And she'll give a prompt, and it just kind of gives you something fun to do for the week. Okay, so, I am a therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So I've done therapy for many, many years. And this week, Tammy is talking about doing nothing. And I was like, let me have it. It's because, hold on, I can tell you're crooked. Hold on. How's that? Yeah, Self-Care Sunday for her, the prompt is to do nothing, right? And then she said, you maybe take a piece of paper, a pen, and then if something comes to you, while you're sitting there doing nothing, write it down. Well, interesting that you should say that, Tammy. In all seriousness, doing nothing for some people is very, very hard. Well, why? Why is it so hard? Is it because they have ADHD or ADHD, adult hyperactive, yeah, a hyperactivity disorder, or not? Sometimes it isn't. From a mental health standpoint, there can be a pattern for some people. And one of them can be that they just are not comfortable sitting and doing nothing. Just nothing. And anything that they do, they like walking or standing in line or something, they feel like they need to simultaneously be productive and get something done. Oh, while I'm doing this, I'm going to do that, or, I'm going to balance my checkbook on my phone while I'm at Walmart in line. Well, some of what might bother a person that maybe they're unaware of, or maybe they're aware of it, but they haven't dealt with it yet, is being comfortable in the quiet of their own being. And if that is an issue, then why? Well, if you're 50 or older, you may have grandparents who were raised on farms in rural conditions, or not even in the city. I mean, they were raised that your purpose and your value was your labor. And they were raised that in many, many, many families, giving birth to a woman, a girl, baby, was not as desirable as giving birth to a male, because a female wasn't as productive. Boys were desired because they could work harder and they could do more. So, like my mother, her mother she treated her, said there was no hiding the fact that in her opinion, my mom was useless. She was just a burden. It was just another mouth to feed. And it used to break my heart. But sometimes when we're raised in conditions that make us believe that what we produce is our worth, then we can grow up feeling like if you weren't able to produce something, then you have no value. Well, there's other circumstances that can cause a person to adopt that mentality for themselves. That can be like domestic violence, someone telling you all the time that you're worthless. It can be childhood issues, if you're told that you don't amount to much, you're never going to be anything, then a person could adopt ways of living, things that they do, cleaning, giving gifts all the time, cooking, those kinds of things as their worth. And sometimes, not always, when we're in therapy, it can be that we recognize that we don't have a strong sense of self. Who am I? What am I doing here? Why am I here? And that can be, in itself, can be a very deep well, because it can roll over into, there's no way that this person can be my friend, because why would they? I don't have anything to offer them. So it was interesting to me today when Tammy suggested taking a pen and paper, because that would be exactly the opposite of what I would suggest somebody to do if they were in therapy with me, because that is a way to avoid being with yourself. Being alone with yourself and doing nothing takes practice in a way that you learn to silence all that self-doubt and boredom and restlessness and the chatter that goes on in your head. Some people don't want to be alone because what happens is they start thinking about the past, bad things that have happened in the past. Well, you're not really ever going to be able to not do that. At some point, if you want to be healthy and not full of anxiety, it'll be important for you to be able to be alone. And if those thoughts come, you deal with them instead of avoid them. But being alone and doing nothing, just nothing, can take practice. That means no TV. That means no book. I had a patient once that I gave her the homework of spending some time alone. And I think the first week she came back and said, yeah, it was okay. I went down to the river and I just fed the ducks. And I said, well, you're supposed to be doing nothing. She said, I didn't do anything. I just fed the ducks and that was all. I said, well, yeah, but you fed the ducks, right? So you got bread or whatever, and you went down there and you fed the ducks. Yeah. So did you talk to the ducks? Oh, yeah. So you really didn't do nothing. So I said, okay, so try it again. So this week, 30 minutes, don't do anything. Do nothing. So she comes back and she said, yeah, I think I nailed it. I said, what did you do? She said, I went to the park and I sat on the bench and I read my book. Ouch. I said, you took a book? And she said, yeah. And that's all I did. I just sat there and read the book. Okay, where's my little thing that I just put on there? I said, so you did something? No, I just read a book. But that's doing something, right? Well, I thought you meant like physical stuff. No, I mean nothing. Okay, all right, nothing. It took us like 4 visits to, I mean, I could have outlined it for her and said none of this, none of that, don't do this, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Go here, go there, but that's not, I didn't want to do that. I wanted her to recognize how uncomfortable she was doing absolutely nothing. No entertainment in her brain at all. Because you have to be pretty comfortable with yourself to be able to just sit and do nothing. You don't journal. You don't do you do nothing. And people who struggle to do nothing, it isn't always one issue. But those issues usually filter down to, I need to produce something or account for my time in order to have value. My self-worth depends on what I can produce. And maybe it is that in your life you've been told you're lazy, or maybe you're overweight and your own internal dialogue is you're lazy, or it could be that you have an internal dialogue that says you're stupid. So if you're not doing something all the time, then you're not producing something because you're so stupid. It can really range from here down a long road. People really can struggle with doing nothing. And not only that, but it is very important, I think, from a therapeutic standpoint, to learn how to do that. Because if you can learn to sit and do nothing, like none of this busy stuff that gets your hands busy. Just sit and do nothing. If you can do that, no TV, nothing. And then if you can hear the thoughts that come and be okay with those and not try to stop them or interrupt them or discount them. If you can do that, let's see, I think I want to do this first. Then something inside you is saying you're enough. Just the fact that you're taking a breath, just the fact that your temperature is 98.6, your heart rate is still beating, that's enough. You don't need to fill the time. It's okay for bad memories to float through your brain. You're never going to forget what happened. If those thoughts come, that internal dialogue, that negative self-talk, If that comes and you denounce it and you replace it with positive self-talk, that's very healthy. If that time for you doing nothing can just reinforce to you that you're okay, that you're safe, that you're able to keep yourself safe, that can be very healthy. But doing nothing doesn't have to be an event where while I'm doing nothing, I'm going to accomplish X. Practicing doing nothing means you do nothing, and you learn how to be okay with that. And during that process, my prediction is that you will hear in your own mind what it is that's keeping you from doing that on a regular basis in a comfortable way. Sorry, I had to turn my phone off. So, without going into more and more detail and being even more specific, this isn't really a therapy channel, it's a craft channel, but that's my Self-Care Sunday, and this is actually a perfect example. So, if I were somebody who's not comfortable doing absolutely nothing, this is the kind of stuff that I would do to fill the time. I did this today because this is a visual video, and boy, would it be boring if I just sat here like this. And so I got out some paper and just decided I was going to make a couple pockets for the dark book or something. But this would, if therapeutically, if I gave exercise to somebody to just do nothing, this would discount the whole exercise because it's busy work. And we don't want that. We want you to be fine being alone with your own thoughts. And it's not just a one-time deal. It's important to just do nothing on a regular basis. 15 minutes, just do nothing. Just sit on the couch, turn the TV off, and just do nothing. Just sit outside and do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Very healthy. Now, it's not very healthy to do that all the time, though. You can't. That's not a way to live a life. And I have known people that is their goal. They don't want to be burdened or be expected to do anything for anybody at any time. And that's not healthy. So that's Self-Care Sunday. I think that's probably clear as mud. But there you go. That's it. Let's all take care of each other. Bye.